They say life begins at 40. But what does that really mean? For most of our lives, we are taught that success is measured by how early we arrive. Get the job, build the family, make the money, be somebody. There is pressure, silent but constant, to achieve everything before the clock runs out, as if everything worthwhile must happen in the first act. And then we reach a point, maybe it's 40, maybe 50, maybe later, a moment when the old map no longer makes sense. The goals feel hollow, the applause grows quiet, and a different kind of question begins to echo inside. Is this really all there is? This is where Carl Jung's voice becomes not just insightful, but necessary. Because Jung believed that life is not one straight line, it is a journey in two halves, and the second half is where your soul begins to speak louder than your ego. According to Jung, we spend the first part of life building a self, a structure the world can see and understand. But the second half is not about building, it's about becoming who you really are, beneath the roles, the expectations, the noise. This video is about that turning point, the sacred threshold of middle age, the hidden beauty of the second half of life, and why, perhaps for the first time, you are finally beginning to live. Carl Jung believed that life unfolds in two distinct stages, two arcs of the same journey. The first half is outward. It is driven by identity, ambition, and adaptation. We learn how to survive, how to succeed, how to be accepted. We chase titles, roles, responsibilities. We build families, businesses, reputations. We strive to become what the world expects of us, and we believe, often without knowing it, that this is the whole of life. But around midlife, something begins to shift. The ladder we've been climbing suddenly feels like it's leaning on the wrong wall. What once motivated us begins to feel empty. We may achieve everything we thought we wanted, and still feel that something essential is missing. That missing piece is the self we left behind. Jung wrote, "We cannot live the afternoon of life according to the program of life's morning." The structures that served us in the first half, discipline, ambition, even ego, begin to crack. Not because they failed, but because they were only meant to take us halfway. The second half of life asks something deeper. Not who we are to others, but who we are to ourselves. At 40, or sometime near it, life extends an invitation. Not loudly, not with fireworks or fanfare, but quietly, like a whisper in the early morning. It's the invitation to stop striving and start listening. For the first time, we're asked to turn inward, to look beyond roles, beyond being a parent, a partner, a professional, and ask, who am I really? What have I ignored in myself? What dreams have I buried? What truth have I avoided? Jung called this process individuation, the slow and often uncomfortable path of becoming who we truly are, not who we were taught to be. It is a shift from the outer life to the inner life. In this second half, the questions change. Instead of, what do others think of me? We ask, what do I think of me? Instead of, how much can I achieve? We ask, what actually matters to me? And instead of, what do I want to become? We finally ask, what have I always been, underneath it all? Jung wrote, thoroughly unprepared, we take the step into the afternoon of life. And worse still, we take this step with the false assumption that our truths and ideals will serve us as they did before. The truth is, they won't. What carried us through our 20s and 30s cannot guide us now. At this turning point, life is no longer asking us to conquer the world. It's asking us to come home to ourselves. This transition, from the first half of life into the second, is often misunderstood. We call it a midlife crisis. But it's not a crisis. It's a calling. When we ignore this calling, it can show up as restlessness, emptiness, even depression. The structures of our life remain, but the meaning feels like it's fading, and that feeling can be frightening, because for so long we were told that stability equals happiness. But Carl Jung saw it differently. He believed that this discomfort isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of awakening. In midlife, the soul begins to ask for more, not more things, but more truth. Not more recognition, but more wholeness. Not more noise, but more silence. This is a sacred shift, a chance to step out of the persona, the social mask we've worn, and finally look in the mirror with honesty. Who have I become? And who was I meant to be? Jung taught that the second half of life isn't about improvement. It's about integration, not fixing yourself, but embracing the parts of you that have been silenced, rejected, or hidden. The sadness you feel, the boredom, the longing. They are not symptoms to suppress. They are invitations, signals that your soul is ready to grow in a new direction, a direction not defined by society, but by the quiet wisdom within. Before we continue, please take a moment to like this video. Your support helps more people discover these ideas. And if you're enjoying this journey into the mysteries of the mind, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Now, back to the video. The goal of the second half of life is not success, it is wholeness. Jung believed that true peace comes not from perfection, but from accepting our contradictions, from allowing all the parts of ourselves, the strong, the weak, the brave, the fearful, to sit at the same table. In the first half of life, we chase light. In the second half, we learn to make peace with the shadows. We begin to understand that what we've avoided often holds the very key to our freedom. Jung wrote, "I'd rather be whole than good." This is the quiet revolution of midlife. We stop trying to be good in the eyes of others, and we start being real in the eyes of ourselves. There is no need to strive anymore. You are not here to impress, to compete, or to convince. You are here to become fully, deeply, honestly, who you have always been beneath the layers. The second half of life is not a time of decline. It is a time of depth, a return, a remembering. It is not about answers, but about finally learning to live the questions. So if you find yourself at 40 or 50 or beyond, and everything feels unfamiliar, unsteady, or uncertain, know this: you are not lost. You are simply arriving at the part of life where truth begins, where masks fall away, where depth replaces speed and presence replaces performance. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not too late. In fact, you are right on time. Carl Jung reminds us that this is not the end of your story. This is the part where your soul steps forward, not to prove anything, but to finally live in alignment with itself. And maybe, just maybe, life is only truly beginning now. If this reflection touched something within you, subscribe for more calm journeys through philosophy and the soul, and share in the comments, what truth has midlife revealed to you? I read every word, and you are not alone on this path. See you in the next video.